Here's Mr. Dan Peña. What is your definition of a high-performance person?
Being all that you can be every day, 24/7, 365, being all you can be. 98% of all the people on the planet that are high performance are introverts. Elon Musk, Warren Buffett, Bill Gates have something in common. They're introverts just like you. Introverts meaning that you don't say what you really feel. Introverts are when your parents were telling you when you were growing up, you just put your head down and kept your mouth shut. And that's why you're introverted now as adults. My father said, if you've got something in your mind, it should come out of your lips. How many of you would like to have your kids grow up just like your parents? You know the answer, don't you? Close to zero. Because they were shitty role models. I'm not going to ask the second question. How many of you would like your kids to grow up and be like you? But being a high-performance person is a full-time job. I'm like this when I wake up in the morning to brush my teeth. I'm like this when I brush my teeth before I go to sleep. I'm like this 24/7, 365, and I've been like this for the better part of 50 years. I'm always like this. I'm always pushing the edge of the envelope. I have the same habits today as I had 50 years ago. The exact same habits. But they're just ingrained in me. And for those of you that have never been around the high-performance people like I just alluded to, the Warren Buffetts, Elon Musk, Steve Jobs, they were like this 24/7, 365. It wasn't an act. I just named 5 of the greatest names in business in the last 150 years. And they all have one thing in common. They're ball busters. They're hard as nails. Success leaves clues, kids. Where does that leave you? But it all starts, you have to be serious about it. Most of the people that are engaged in personal development, for example, aren't serious. It just, it takes up 3 or 4 or 5 hours of their time a week. And so they're fiddle farting around and they're not taking it serious. How many of you can actually say that you're trying to be all you can be? Now, I won't insult you by asking you to raise your hand because you'll just lie. We all know what the real answer is, don't we? You're not. Now, I know Michael's like this all the time, but he and I both know people that are considered gurus, that they have a stage face and they have their real face. They don't walk their talk. And part of being a high-performance person is walking your talk.
You're a grandfather now.
Yes, I am. Thank you.
How will you be as a granddad for him?
Hard.
It will be tough.
Yeah, I'm hard. I was hard on his father, and I'm going to be harder on him. Because I wish I could say with my hand on my heart, if love got the job done, you wouldn't need podcasts, you wouldn't need seminars. Tough love gets the job done.
So is it a choice?
Correct.
To be tough. I don't want to be like that.
No, most people don't.
I want to be liked.
Yeah, well, see, you want to fit in. I'm the only speaker that you're ever going to hear that really, with all his heart, doesn't give a shit. If I leave here you liking me, I did something wrong. I'm not here for you to like me. I'm here as a favor to Michael, my mentee, for 20 years. I'm not here, if you all died today, I don't give a shit. And I mean it. But Steve Jobs didn't give a shit about you either. Warren Buffett doesn't give a shit about you today. Don't you understand? Don't you get it? You want to fit in because you had poor role models at home. Most everybody in this room is a pleaser. But 98% of the high-performance people are introverts. 98% of the high-performance people on the planet, they want to be liked. But being liked doesn't get you a raise when you're working for whoever you're working for. Efficiency, accountability. What kind of sacrifices are you willing to be super successful? 60 hours a week. Nobody is willing to work 60 hours a week to be successful. Nobody's willing to miss an anniversary to be successful. Nobody is willing to miss a holiday. If you booked a holiday and something important happened in business, would you tell your family to go on the holiday without you? And you're not going to go. Nobody said yes, because you're not willing to make any sacrifices to be high performance. I still work 50, 60, I don't consider it work. I still work 50, 60 hours a week. And I haven't had to work in 35 years. So the bottom line, you're not willing to do anything. You're not willing to sacrifice anything to be a high performance person. Gallup did a poll in 2016. 87% of everybody that walks the face of the earth, 7.65 billion people, are unhappy.
So what went wrong?
You have not used the opportunities. Whereas the people in the third, fourth, fifth world countries use those opportunities to be all they can be. And money's not everything in the world, but money's the only thing anybody keeps track of. And so when I got into the financial coaching, I wanted to change the fabric of financial coaching, which I have. And I wanted to be known as, and now that's what they call me, the greatest of all time. But this was just me flapping my mouth 25 years ago. Now I am the greatest of all time. And I wanted to leave that legacy. And I wanted people, like I'm from the barrio, I'm a real rough background, been in jail 5 times, did a lot of ugly things, which I don't recommend to anybody. But I'm glad it happened to me because I know what the other side, I wanted the poor kids to understand that you can do it if you want to do it bad enough. Muhammad Ali, arguably one of the greatest fighters ever, he was talking since he's 14, 15 years old, I'm the greatest, before he ever had a professional fight. You've been trained, keep your head down, don't embarrass yourself, don't embarrass the family, don't say things that may not happen. And I do just the opposite. I tell you to set goals beyond your lifetime. I tell you to set goals as soon as humanly possible. When kids come to me, they want to make 1 million, 10 million. And then when they've made 100 million, they say, Mr. Peña, we would have never, ever dreamt that we could create 100 million until we met you. You will never exceed your highest expectation. You will never exceed your highest, craziest thought. Never. That's a guarantee. And so then why, other than you've been taught by your parents in conventional wisdom, to set low goals? They've told you, the theory is you set low goals so then you can stair-step achievement and you won't be as disappointed when you fail. But the one thing that they all have in common is they're hungry. Hungry for a better life. Hungry for change. Hungry for the tough love their parents didn't give them.
So is that what it needs? You have to be hungry. You need to feel the pain.
The squeaky wheel gets the grease. Growth only comes through pain. No pain, no gain. And you've been taught all your life not to ask. Nyarota, which I had the privilege of teaching at back in the 90s. Erasmus, which I had the privilege of teaching at back in the 90s. And University of Amsterdam, which I had the privilege of teaching at back in the 90s. I used to ask the question, how many classes have you had in buying a business? Nobody raised their hand. How many classes have you had in selling a business? Nobody raised their hand. How many classes have you had in leadership? Nobody raised their hand. Now I'm here to tell, because I checked last week, those 3 fine universities still don't have any classes in those 3 subjects. So they're not teaching you how to sell your business. They're not teaching you how to buy a business. Arguably, they only teach you how to run a business. Most of you have been taught taking action is listening to a podcast. Taking action is reading a book. Taking action is taking a course online. No. Taking action is pulling the trigger. You know, I say in 4 words what most people say in a book. Just f***ing do it. That's taking action.
And why don't people do it?
They don't do it because, number one, most people don't want to get out of the comfort zone. But you can have anything you want in life as long as you work hard. Work hard, I don't know any other thing than hard work.
If we would like to improve the quality of our lives, personally and professionally, what would be your advice? What is most important?
Well, the most important thing is self-esteem. The people that we read about, the people that we admire, the Elon Musks, the Steve Jobs, the Warren Buffetts, etc., all have one thing in common. They have extremely high self-esteem. Of course, you've heard me say this before, self-esteem is built the first 7 or 8 years of life. And unfortunately, we're with our parents the first 7 or 8 years of life. Ergo, we don't have too much high self-esteem. But to build high self-esteem, and the way you build high self-esteem, if you're 25, 35, or 45, is to be around, surround yourself with other people that have high self-esteem. Show me your friends and I'll show you your future. And so you can reverse your childhood by who you associate with.
How do you do that?
Well, you find people that are where you want to be, but they're already there. You're 22 years old, you're 32, you're 41 years old, and there's a guy or a gal who's 45 years old who is where you want to be. They've accomplished a lot of things. If you're into, they're saving the world, they're using their money for good causes, go associate with those people. Be around those people. And they're easy to find, but they're not going to knock on your door. They're not going to come to your apartment or your flat and ask you, oh, can I help you? And again, the best tool I've ever seen, and it's like it was designed for this, is LinkedIn. It's the best social media tool there ever was for what we're discussing. Well, now just remember, everybody that's on LinkedIn, all the, 20 million or whatever people that are on LinkedIn are all there for one reason. They're there because they want to do business, they want to meet people. I mean, LinkedIn, they're there for a common purpose. They have a common bond, they have a common goal. They want to expand their horizons, and it's a great tool.